you want to live in Turkey, huh? I'm not sure you really want to do that. After 5 years of living in Turkey, I think I'm a bit entitled to do this kind of videos. So let's get started, shall we? Is living in Turkey in 2025 still worth it? I'm not sure. Now, let's start with the challenges you might want to consider if you want to move to Turkey. The first thing that came to my mind was the economic instability. It is very difficult not to mention this. This probably is the first thing that needs to be addressed. Currency fluctuation is a serious problem here in Turkey. The Turkish lira has significantly faced a devaluation in the recent years, especially in the last 3 years or something. I came in 2019. At that time, everything was really going well until, after COVID, things started to hit really hard. Of course, that led to inflation with the rise of prices for everything, not only imported goods, but even local goods went crazy. It's very challenging, let's say, to keep up with the prices. Every day there's a new price. Every day there's a new change in the tag. So if you are coming to live in Turkey, you should keep that in mind. Factor number 2, and that is taxes. Now, taxes needs to be seriously comprehended before coming here. I took this subject lightly until I was, faced with the bitter truth. The country basically takes taxes for everything. That includes, income taxes, corporate taxes, property taxes, SCT taxes. That includes, goods that are considered luxury, tobacco, maybe. The list goes on and on. Try to do your research before coming to live here, especially if you have family or you have a business. Yeah, you never know. Tomorrow we might have oxygen tax. I don't know. It's just a lot of money that you need to be paying. Did you know that when you are here in Turkey, you cannot basically use your phone that you brought from your country? I got mine when I first came here. I did not buy my phone from Turkey. So you basically have 3 months to be able to use it for free without paying anything, and then you get a message saying, you should pay this tax for using a phone that you did not buy from Turkey, which was incredibly crazy, I thought. Yeah, so I went to a friend, and then he tried to hack this thing and gave me another free 3 months. But then that 3 months also finished, and I had to find a solution, because when I went to ask how much should I pay to be able to use my phone, the price they gave me was hilarious. It's like the same price as if you're buying a new phone. So my phone was trash. I wouldn't give that much money to be able to use my trash phone. So I had to eventually buy a new phone. There are some things that you really need to think about twice. Alright, now let's start with our third factor, and that is language barrier. I'm sure a lot of people have already pointed this out, but yeah, they are right. If you are here for the long run, then you must learn Turkish. You just have to accept it and add it to the list of languages you speak. So no one prepared me for this when I first came in, and it was hard. I struggled a lot to communicate, to enjoy my experience in general. So because I watched also a lot of videos before I came, and I realized that a lot of people talked about this. Most people here in Turkey don't speak English, and they were right. I thought, yeah, maybe elderly people, so it's not a big deal. And when I came here, I realized, yes, they are right. Not only elderly, but most people don't speak English. Now, if you are here for a visit only, or you're a tourist, yes, probably you won't need English, but if you're here to live, then you must. There is this thing that I don't really appreciate about foreigners. I had a lot of friends, foreigners, who didn't want to learn Turkish, sorry. I felt sorry for them. They are missing a lot of beautiful interactions and experiences with locals. It's a whole different level if you speak Turkish with a Turkish person and you speak English with them. It's totally a different person, and it's a plus for you. You're You're adding a language to your list, so it's not a big deal. If you want a smooth integration into daily life, then yeah, it's necessary for you to learn the language. It is what it is. All right, let's move on to the next point I want to talk about, and that is climate, political climate. I won't talk about this in details. It's not my place to make any comment about it. But I needed to mention this point for you to be aware of there's a lot of, let's say, political uncertainty here in Turkey. Some individuals, yes, might find the political climate challenging, but staying informed and aware of the local policies is essential. I mean, this topic really bothered me a lot because what do I know? I'm not even Turkish. I'm a foreigner who lives in Turkey, but still I was forced kind of to make a stand, like choose your side, because you know, in Turkey they are kind of divided into two. It was quite hard to understand and to accept at the end, because you decide to live here, so what are you gonna do? I had an interview with a company once, like 3 years ago or something, and they had the nerve to ask me about my political views in Turkey, and I just sat there and looked at them like, what are you talking about? What is this question? It was so unprofessional of them to ask a foreigner first and to ask about politics in an interview, in a job interview. Like, that was ridiculous. Literally asked me like, what are your political views in Turkey? Who do you support? I was like, I have no clue. I'm not even Turkish, and this is not a professional question to ask me. And so yeah, I had to leave the interview. So yeah, be mindful about this topic. And you probably are not going to be facing the same experience as I did, but just be aware of the policies, that because there are a lot of things that change a lot of time. So what was my last point? Yeah, natural disasters. I wanted to add this point as well because it's a serious risk that you need to be taking and you need to be considering for housing, because certain areas are, especially Istanbul, are located in prone zones, so an earthquake prone zone, sorry. For the long-term safety of you and your family, it is something that needs to be considered. This is like running on the back of my mind all the time. My God, protect us. I've been here for 5 years and I've been through what this country been through, and it is something that you need to think about. If you want to live here for a long period of time, know that there's always a risk of an earthquake, especially in Istanbul. Now let's talk about the good stuff. I hope I didn't demotivate you, but still. Alright, the first reason that I thought of is affordable cost of living. Now I know, before you click away and before you bombard me with comments on girl what, Turkey is becoming very expensive. But this, I think, or maybe applies or valid only for people who, or foreigners who earn in foreign currency. Then yeah, living here is still affordable. I have a lot of friends and family who live around the world, and especially in Western countries. It's becoming so hard to live in Europe. Comparing to Turkey, yeah, living here is still affordable. So if you are a foreigner or an expat who may be a retiree or a digital nomad or someone who, as I said, earns in foreign currency, whether that was euro or dollar, it's still better than the Turkish lira. So you can afford to live here. Utilities, housing, they are still, comparing to what my friends are saying, health insurance and all that. So it is logical to come live here. Maybe you are an entrepreneur or you are an investor. You know, you can live here. If you say, okay, I can live there and work, then you can, if you speak Turkish. Unless, of course, you work as a teacher, an English teacher. Well, that's also an option. Maybe you have a roommate or a partner that splits the bills with you, then yeah, you can still afford to live in Turkey. Now let's talk about another reason I think makes Turkey the best option, and that is the lifestyle. You can have a lifestyle on a budget because Turkey has one of the best high quality Mediterranean lifestyle that you can enjoy, including, you know, fresh produce, like dining out, cultural activities, at a fraction of the cost in many European cities and countries. All I'm trying to say is life here is never boring. You always have something going on, which makes it exciting and interesting to live here. Next point is the location. Turkey has a very strategic location. The country offers diverse landscape. You got mountains in the Black Sea, you got chimneys in Cappadocia, you got history and art and architecture here in Istanbul. You have beautiful and expensive beaches in Antalya and Izmir, and I mean, Turkey makes it a hub for travel. Wherever you go, you are in awe of the place. So if you are into traveling and into experiencing life, and you are also ready to learn the language, then yes, it's a plus to live here in Turkey. The sun! Thank you. It's been cloudy for the past, God knows what, a week? It was raining like crazy. The next point I want to talk about is the community that they have, or we have, here in Turkey. Turkish people's hospitality is beyond imagination from my personal experience. Of course, I know that many foreigners' perspective can be different than mine, but from what I experienced and from what I saw, Turkish people are very hospitable. I had a Turkish neighbor who was sending me dinner, who made sure I was fed for a whole year. I was so sad. I even cried that I had to change my apartment because my contract with the landlord finished and he wanted to sell the house, so I had to go from there. I still remember her, and I love her so much because she treated me like I was family. She would call me at work and she would say, hey, don't forget to pass by me to take this and that. I cook this and that, I bake this and that, and I've never felt alone. I've never experienced loneliness. You know what I'm trying to say. I had another neighbor on my first apartment. Oh my god, she helped me with kitchen supplies. She told me, like, I lived abroad and I know how it feels to go to an empty house. And yes, it was not furnished. It was like my first few months in Turkey, and that was the first apartment I go to. I felt so grateful. I felt so thankful for God, for the Turkish community, for the hospitality. And as I've said, learning Turkish makes you experience life here in a very completely different way. I'm making this video very long. I wanted to make a short video, but I talk a lot. What can I do? I need to start scripting my videos. Stop rambling. The last point that I want to mention, and that is economic opportunities. Turkiye, sorry. I always forget that they changed the name. Turkey offers excellent investing opportunities in land, companies, and stocks. The country even offers citizenship if you meet certain specific criteria and you invest a certain amount of money. We talked about the good side, the downside. Living in Turkey in 2025 can still be a rewarding experience, but it requires a realistic understanding of its economics, social landscapes, and so on. So I hope I kind of helped you. Again, this is my personal view on the topic. This is not a professional advice or anything. Before I leave this video, I want to mention that try to come here to Turkey for a visit only. Stay a bit longer and see if the country is the right fit for you or no. Yeah, that's it for today. See you on my next video. Bye.